Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back to Cryptic Humility. I am here with our special guest speaker,
Wojciech.
Wojciech. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. As always, I say that I'm very excited for all my guest speakers to come on and talk. You have an incredibly interesting story that I want to jump right into and talk about. We have a lot to cover. So let's start by you introducing yourself, where you're from, how you got into the crypto space, and anything else you think is important to share for the user.
My name is Wojciech. Once again, I'm from Poland. And well, how I get to cryptos. So this is actually a pretty interesting story. Back in 2014, I was working on a side project and needed help with programming. I found this Iranian student who freelancer at the freelancer portal, and he turned out to be incredibly innovative. Like he had all the new ideas for the work I hired him for. And when it came to pay him, he offered me to take payment in Bitcoin because it was much relevant and comfortable for payments in Iran that day. Honestly, I had no idea what the Bitcoin was back then. I had to figure it out. I bought BTC using wire transfer and local crypto exchange. I found one in Poland, so I bought it there and paid him. Uh, I will withdraw it the bitcoins to the custodial wallet first, and then send bitcoins to him. And this was it. Was how I literally got into the crypto space.
Yes. And so to recap, you said that you were kind of into programming. Is programming what you did before crypto, or?
Yes. I was programming at my side project. There was a several proxy servers. I need to program them, and I need a hand with it. So I asked people on the freelancer. That student. He had some fantastic, brilliant ideas and pushed my project further. And yes, I was programming JavaScript then. Then I moved to Python, and Python is widely used in crypto space too, and many tools are in Python. I will talk about it later.
Yes,
Probably.
yes. Yes, and I was just gonna say, we had somebody on the podcast recently that does smart contract programming, and before that, he was into coding and was using Python, JavaScript, and like all these different applications. So a lot of people, ironically, that get involved in the crypto space kind of have a coding or programming background, if you will. So, and actually, I know that this was a later question, but it's a good time to ask it now. So later on, we're going to ask you about some mistakes that you might have made in the industry or in the market, like we ask every guest speaker. But on top of this freelancer kind of getting you involved in crypto, you also had an experience or a story to share about like kind of why you have the business that you have now, which we'll talk about later. You shared how you got like your own password, you forgot your own password or something. Do you want to share that story? Because I feel like that story to start here will kind of paint the picture of why you have your business now.
How my whole business started. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Action.
So remember the Iranian freelancer I paid Bitcoin back in 2014? Well, I was so new to crypto that I made this classic beginner mistake. After a month, I forgot the password to my Bitcoin wallet. So I'm sitting there looking at my wallet, knowing I have Bitcoin in it, but I can't access it. It's like having a safe in your house, but forgetting the combination. So I went online to all these Bitcoin and crypto forums looking for help. But honestly, the knowledge wasn't there yet. Everyone was figuring out as they went. There was literally only one person doing recovery at this time, just one guy. I wrote to him, but never got an answer. I was stuck. So I had to help myself. I started investigating recovery techniques, learning about different tools, diving deep into the wallet encryption, how wallet encryption actually works. After weeks of research, trial and error, I finally recovered my first password for myself. I was literally my own first client. And that's when I realized there was going to be a huge need for this service. And it is. People were going to make these same mistakes over and over. The lesson here, write down your password and store them securely offline in multiple places. One in paper, for example, one in steel plates. There are something like special designed steel backups for Bitcoin. You can find it on Amazon, on any marketplace. Because you're locked out of your own money, panic sets it in, and you just started making even worse decision. That's mistake literally became my career. But I don't recommend learning the hard way like I did.
Yes. Yes, and let me recap for the audience. So, you were into programming and you asked a freelancer for help. In asking a freelancer for help, they asked you to pay in Bitcoin. So that's how you got involved into Bitcoin in the crypto space is paying this freelancer to help you with some of your side projects. Then eventually, as you were owning crypto or maybe trading crypto in your background and in your history, you got locked out of your digital wallet or didn't know your private key, that information that is supposed to be stored and protected by you. In a second, we'll explain digital wallets and private keys. I'll have you explain so people kind of understand. But essentially, you dived into crypto without understanding how to secure your own account first. And the reason why you're on the podcast today is because we're going to talk about your business venture and what you do to help people. But a lot of people in the crypto space jump right in without securing their funds first and understanding how this process works. So we have Wojciech on to try to teach us about that and educate us on how to secure our wallets. So as we move forward in the crypto space, we don't run into scams and fraud and our own foolishness. So I just wanted to recap for everybody. You did amazing explaining. I know that English isn't your first language and you still explained it perfectly, but I just wanted to kind of give us a recap so people are clear. So in your explanation, can you explain to us what a digital wallet is versus private keys and how people can understand that?
First, let's talk basics. When people hear digital wallet, they often think it's like PayPal, but it's actually more like having your own personal bank vault only for your control. Your private key is literally like combination to the vault. You lose it and you lose everything inside. No customer service can help you recover it. That's why security is everything in this space. What makes me different? Most crypto companies either talk over people's heads with technical jargon or they oversimplify and people end up making dangerous mistakes. I focus on education first, teaching people how to actually protect their assets before they dive in. Check out my post, and I publish crypto hints and warnings about typical mistakes. Our typical client, there are usually successful professionals who have heard about crypto for years, but were intimidated by the complexity. They finally reach out when they realize they need to understand this space, but they want to do it right from the start. The biggest mistake I see, people jump in without understanding the fundamentals. They buy crypto on the exchange and leave it there, thinking it's a safe, or they write down their private key or seed and store it in their email. It's like leaving your house key under the doormat and posting about it on social media. Often people buy being pushed by emotions and forget about precautions and security. My advice, start small, learn the basics, and never invest more than you can afford to lose while you're learning. The technology is incredible, but respect it because in crypto, you are your own bank, which means you are also your own security guard.
So, first things first is that you run a crypto password recovery business and you run it out of Poland, correct? Where you're located?
Right.
Awesome. So, and the reason why you got involved in all of this is because you yourself got locked out of your password, like couldn't figure out your password. So you did so much research and time development to figure out how to restore your own crypto account. So now what you're doing is you have this whole business where you kind of help people who are locked out of their own account, maybe can't access their private key or their recovery phrase. You help people gain ownership back into their own accounts and teach people how to secure their crypto. Now, as you were talking, you said that a digital wallet is like your own personal vault, while your private key is like the key to open that vault. So what a lot of people don't understand in crypto, and you just said it, is that we are our own bank. So you have more ownership over your own money that you're trading and investing. And with that freedom comes a lot more responsibility in regards to storing your private key and your information and making sure that you have access to those funds. One really important thing that I think you said that I think is worth talking about is that it's unsafe to have your crypto on the exchange. A lot of the times why it's unsafe is because it's more susceptible to hackers and scam and fraud when you're just leaving your money and also your information just out there for people to access. So it's important to know before you get involved in crypto. Number one, be smart and look for businesses and people that can guide you and help you. But also, never, like you just said, invest more than you're comfortable with, and don't jump in if you're not truly educated on how this process works. So it's different than having a bank have access to your money or is managing your money. You kind of have your own account now that you manage yourself, and you need your key to be able to access those funds. So that is your business. And I will list all your resources and everything that you do down below in the podcast description. But can you give us the full, you might have already, but just so we can have it on the podcast, the full name of your business?
Crypto wallets recovery services. That's right. Yes, yes. This is on, and I have also, but I don't think I was wondering if they mention it here. It's walletpasswordrecovery.com. It is since 2016. Well, I separately developed walletpasswordrecovery.com, and I develop my own brand under my own name, like Crypto
Okay.
Wallet Recovery Service. It's a maybe temporary name. I just have my name, so Wojciech Malec.
Sounds good. So you're saying that you freelance pretty much this
Yes,
project.
yes, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. No problem at all. So and I'll make sure I gather all the right resources from you to guide people and help people. But so now that we kind of have your background and we know what your company is, and also that there's probably not many people in the industry that do what you do, because you said that when you started this idea and this service that people needed, you said that there was only one other
Yes,
person that was
that's
doing
right.
it.
That's
So
right.
to have only one other person in the space, especially when you started getting involved in crypto, it was 2014. So even if this was a couple of years later or whatever, crypto was still very new. So you were a pioneer into understanding how this technology, like encryption tools, how all of this works.
Exactly.
So it is
Exactly.
amazing. It is amazing what you do. What you do is needed in the market, in the space. It's amazing to connect with you internationally, because truly, like, it's incredibly difficult to find people that do what you do. So we're very lucky to have you on the show and to even have you talk about these things, and people have this resource. I think it's really important. And so maybe you can take us step by step through your business, maybe the common customers. I know you already touched upon common customers that you have, either people that are very experienced in the market or people that are kind of scared to jump in. But maybe you can talk to us about a day in the life in your business. Are all passwords recoverable? I know that was one question that we talked about beforehand as well.
Yes, it's a great question. When someone's reach me. Great question. Great question. Um,
You're doing good. You're doing good.
it's a great question. So when someone reached me, the first thing I need to understand is what exactly the problem is. Not all the problems are recoverable, and I am upfront about that from the start. For example, if you lost everything, if you lost wallet data, files, and seed phrase, and there is nothing to recover from, it's gone forever. So I start a detailed assessment. I ask specific questions to determine if recovery is even possible. First, what coin do you want to recover? Is it a Bitcoin? Is it Dogecoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or anything else? Maybe token? Which network it is on? What type of wallet is a software wallet or maybe a hardware wallet? Is it a core wallet? If it's a Bitcoin, like wallet.file, and maybe problem is with seed phrase. Do you have a 12 words or 24 words seed phrase, or maybe other number of words, especially in older wallets? So what's the name of the wallet software, and so on. So I need to know how many coins we are talking about, because honestly, if it's just few dollars worth, the recovery cost might be not worth it. And I always ask for wallet address to verify if it's actually their wallet and not someone trying to break into someone else's funds. Sometimes this is easy to check. Not always, but where it gets detailed, I need them to describe the problem truthfully. It's a password issue. If it's a password issue, or I ask everything. How long was the password? Was it a random or based on words? What words might be in it and where? Numbers, special characters, capital letters, their positions, even their operating system and keyboard layout can matter. I ask for their best guesses for the password, like 10 attempts they already tried, but it's not the correct password. And sometimes I ask about their online activity, like usernames, emails they used. People often reuse this elements in the passwords. The key is being through upfront. I'd rather spend time on assessment than to waste weeks on impossible recovery. If it looks recoverable, we discuss terms and timeline. If not, I tell honestly that no point in false hope when it comes to people's money.
That is very incredible because there are a lot of steps to that. Knowing even to recover your account, you need to know a lot of your information. And I will share a story really quickly. So lately in the social media world, there have been different apps that I have used that I have gotten locked out of just because I'm not remembering my password or I'm not writing my password down, which I know when we talked, you had suggested writing your password in multiple different places, making sure that you have your password and your information stored. And as we're moving towards technology, a lot of times, like with TikTok or even YouTube, these big social media apps, they don't have a customer service number. So it's even more so important to have your information written down. But outside of that, in crypto, definitely with the freedom of your own banking per se, or your own storing of your information, you have to be incredibly proactive about security. And thankfully, if you are not proactive about your security, there are people out here who could potentially help you. So the first step you would say is to make sure that you have a digital wallet. And I know that you were talking about there are multiple different kinds of digital wallets you could have. You could have a hard wallet or a cold wallet outside. I have my wallet, like a Coinbase wallet. So there are different kinds of wallets you can have. So definitely you should do your own research into which wallets would be best for you to use. And then, making sure that you have your private key, you have your public key, you have
That's right.
your recovery phrase, making sure you have your recovery phrase, and anything else that maybe Coinbase or wherever you're getting your digital wallet will instruct you to do so in the beginning, so you can securely have your funds. So, Wojciech, why is it not good to have your funds on the exchange? Like beyond frauds and scams and schemes, is there anything else that might be a problem with leaving it out there?
Well, exchanges tend to be hacked, and the funds are disappears from there. We heard it from time to time, once a year to 2 times a year. So it happens. Some exchanges have a programs, and they return the assets, but not always, and not necessarily all the money. And sometimes it takes years and maybe even decades to recover that fund. So it may be recoverable, but rather maybe, but it's not for sure. Okay. Okay.
Right, right. So most of the exchanges are susceptible to fraud and scams and schemes, and that's the so technically you're not supposed to have your funds out on the exchange. You're supposed to keep them from time to time in your wallet, to securely protect your funds and your ownership of Bitcoin. That's what your private key is,
Yes,
your
that's right.
ownership. Yeah,
Yes, the exchanges have your Bitcoin, so they have your private keys. So not your keys, not your money. And when you
exactly.
have it on your self-custodial wallet, it's your money. You can
Right.
sign a transaction. Nobody else has that money.
Right. So I know that you had added a point into our conversation together before we did the interview. I think you were going to talk a little bit about like the psychological perspective of the trader.
Yes, this is honestly one of the most interesting part of my job. I work with doctors, lawyers, CEOs, people who are incredibly careful with everything else in their lives, but put them in front of a crypto wallet and they turn into teenagers. I think it's because crypto feels like this virtual game world. Like these same people would never leave 50K cash sitting on their kitchen counter, but they leave 50K worth of Bitcoin on the same random exchange they sign up for at 2 a.m. So it's the same money, but because it's digital, their brain doesn't process the risk the same way. And then there is a FOMO, fears of missing out. I've seen brilliant people who analyze every investment for months, suddenly throw money at some coin because it's going to the moon tomorrow. The crypto market never sleeps. Prices change by a minute, and there's this constant pressure that you are missing the opportunity of a lifetime. So they skip all their normal due diligence, but there's my favorite: the overconfidence bias. There are people who have complex passwords for their work accounts, use two-factor authentication, follow all the security protocols. But when they create a crypto wallet, oh, I remember this password. It's simple. And there's there's the thing. Many of these people bought Bitcoin or other crypto years ago when it was worth just a few dollars. Back then, they were thinking, just spend $50 on this internet money experiment. Who cares about security? They used simple password, didn't back up their wallets properly because honestly, it felt like a monopoly money. Now the same worthless crypto is worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions. Suddenly, that casual $50 experiment become their retirement fund. But they treated it like loose change when they set it up. The security measures match the perceived value of the time, not what it would become. The thing is, crypto makes everyone feel like they are genius when prices go up, and the confidence makes them careless. It's like they think the rules don't apply to them anymore. So it's not that they are not that smart. It's that crypto somehow short circuits the normal decision making. Yes, and here's what's really wild. The smarter they are, the worse it gets sometimes, because they think they can figure out as they go. They're used to being the smartest person in the room, so they don't do the basic research. The crypto space is designed to make you feel like you are always behind, always missing out. And smart people hate feeling busy, feeling behind. So they make impulsive decisions they would never make anywhere else. It's like giving someone who's great at chess a completely different game with different rules. But they are so confident they don't read the instructions first. Then they wonder why they lost.
Mm, and I like that you said
Sorry,
that. No,
I
you
was
did you
messy.
did great. You did great.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
seriously. I like that you said that like lawyers, doctors, all these professional people, they treat
Uh,
crypto like they're teenagers.
Yes,
And
yes,
you know,
it's true.
it's so
I did
true.
it. I did it. Yes,
We
I did it too
we've
with
all
my
done
first
it.
wallet.
Yes,
Yeah,
like we've
yeah,
all I think a commonality in the crypto space is mistakes, and that's how people end up actually excelling in the industry. Like you've had your mistake with losing your password. I got involved in a huge pyramid scheme that I talk about on the podcast with trading. Oh yeah,
really,
yeah.
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 Cool.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about that
Okay.
when I first met with you, but long story short, people on the show have heard it like 1,000 times, but I got involved in this pyramid scheme, but it was this company that used artificially intelligent software, so AI software, to place trades for you. And it ended up being
Oh,
this. Yeah, it was a lot. I was like very young learning this. So, but I lost a lot of money in the process, but that's how I started looking into crypto and doing research. So it's like now our mission on Cryptic Humility is to find people that have made these mistakes and work towards helping other people not make the same mistakes. And by doing
exactly.
that,
Yes.
you need real education. You need real people that teach this stuff, that have been through it, that can help. So it's true. A lot of people think that trading crypto and being in the crypto space is just like stocks or even the FX market where you're working with a broker. It's like completely different. Crypto space is completely different to, and you're so right about how people in this space feel like they're behind because crypto is hot. One of our other guests.
Never sleeps, and price
Exactly.
changes in the Sunday, on Sunday, on yeah, in the
S-
night.
One of our other guest speakers said that crypto is sexy. It's like it's a sexy way to make money now, and a lot of young people are attracted to that. And it's true. And a lot of people do make impulsive decisions in crypto because of how booming it is and its liquidity, if you will, but also the volatility. So it's unpredictable. And in doing so, you should approach it with hesitation and make sure that you're fully prepared. Obviously, my job on Cryptic Humility is to bring the answers to you, to bring the people to you, to give you help and answers if you're truly looking for it. Even if they're in Poland and they're international, we bring you anybody we can to help. But obviously, there is a psychology to trading. And so basically your advice would be to educate yourself, make sure you know the market, and don't invest more than you're comfortable
Yeah,
investing. Don't make any impulsive decisions, is what you would say.
that's right.
Well, if somebody were trying to get involved in what you do for work, if somebody were trying to walk in your footsteps, do you have like any suggestions for them of like how they should get started, like what they should learn?
What you really need is curiosity, patience, and the ability to think like a detective. Here's where I would start if I were beginning today. First, understand the fundamentals. Learn how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies actually work. Not just its digital money, but how the cryptography works, how private keys generate addresses, how wallet files are structured. Start with Bitcoin white paper. It's only 9 pages and surprisingly readable. Get comfortable with programming. Python is great for beginners and perfect for crypto recovery work. You don't need to be a genius programmer, but you need to understand loops, file handling, and basic cryptography libraries. Learn about different wallet formats, wallet files, seed phrases, JSON files, hardware wallets. Each has a different recovery challenges. Download old version of Bitcoin Core, create test wallets, encrypt them with passwords. The practice recovering then practice recovering them. Study password psychology, how people actually create passwords, common patterns, substitution rules. Most people aren't as random as they think they are. For resources, start with GitHub. There's open source recovery tools like you can study, join crypto forums like bitcointalk.org. But be careful, there are a lot of scammers. The real knowledge comes from experimentation and practice. Most importantly, always work on test wallets first. Never experiment on real funds. Create dummy wallets, encrypt them, then try to break your own encryption. That's exactly how I learned. The key is starting small and being ethical. This field needs more legitimate professionals who actually help people, not scammers who prey on desperate situations.
You are a perfect guest speaker for the podcast because that's truly what we're trying to achieve is end all the scams that are happening and bring in people that are actually professionals in the space that want the space to thrive. So you said that your pieces of advice were number one, to get some information on Python, JavaScript, general coding, because that's actually where you started as a programmer, getting involved in side projects and stuff like that. And then going into downloading Bitcoin Core, getting dummy wallets, and kind of testing your own encryption and seeing if you can basically decrypt your own encryption on your wallet. And in doing so, you're going to practice to get better at helping people recover their own wallets. And then just to recap for the user and for the audience, some general knowledge that you might want to know that was already stated is wallet.dat files, seed phrases, JSON files, hardware wallets, each have different recoveries. So looking into those and educating yourself in that degree, downloading the old versions of Bitcoin Core, which Bitcoin Core is access to Bitcoin blockchain, create test wallets, encrypt them with passwords you know, and then practice recovering them. So that is the beginner level steps to get you to start understanding this technology, learning cryptography, understanding what that is and that concept, and going down that rabbit hole. A lot of this is self research. A lot of this is self knowledge, practice, time into the market, and honestly just making mistakes. So I think that is a great point to mention. I think you explained it very well. And I'll have on the screen all the key topics and some things that you should look into that Wojciech already explained. Last point that I think is important to ask is, so we've already talked that there's a lot of scams that happen in the crypto market. We know, and you're here to help those. You had shared with me over before this that you get a lot of fake stories from people. So I think I thought it would be good that maybe you
Yes,
could share them.
I will write a book about it someday.
Yes, if you want, do you want to share some of your stories that you've gotten? I think it would be interesting for people to hear.
You wouldn't believe how many people contact me with these elaborate fairy tales about their father or brother who passed away and left them a wallet, but they have no idea what the password is. It's always the same story with tiny variations. These fake wallets are actually pretty easy to detect. Once you know what to look for, the addresses doesn't match the story, the wallet files have inconsistencies, or they can't provide basic details that a real owner would know. But then there are real victims, and that breaks my heart. I've had I've had clients who lost fortunes to suspicious exchanges. Others fell for fake investment scams, promising guaranteed returns. Some got their wallets drained through phishing sites that look exactly like legitimate exchanges. Here's the thing, I only help with technical problems. If someone forgot their password or corrupted their wallet files, have an incomplete seed, I can help. But they, if they are defrauded, that's a legal issue, not a technical one. I guide those clients to law companies that specialize in crypto fraud recovery because they need lawyers and work with law enforcement agencies, not password recovery. The biggest red flag, anyone promising guaranteed returns or asking you to send crypto to verify your wallet. In crypto, if it sounds too good to be true, it absolutely is. My advice, if someone pressuring you to act fast or send crypto immediately, that's a scam. Real opportunities don't have a countdown timers.
So you're saying that you work on the technical side of recovering people's accounts, but if they're experiencing fraud or like somebody has stolen their crypto, that takes it a whole nother level where you need to get attorneys or lawyers involved. And that's something kind of out of your scope, but you do offer resources and guides to help people go in that direction. So, and also that a lot of people are out here are trying to have you assist them in the hacking process, almost giving you fake stories and lies and stuff to recover things that aren't truly theirs. So you've seen firsthand real victims, and you've also seen people who are just lying about crypto recovery and recovering their wallets or their passwords or whatever it may be. So you've seen a lot of different scales, and you now know how to detect the scams even more so. And I tell that all the time on the podcast, to be mindful of people that are reaching out to you. Like last time we were talking about how people get involved in these crypto scams, sometimes romantically. Like people, people they'll be dating online will ask them to send crypto because they're in a romantic relationship and stuff like that. So it unfortunately it happens, but nobody should be pressuring you into sending your private key or your recovery
It's
phrase or
right.
right. Nobody should be, you shouldn't be giving your information basically to anybody at any point. And obviously, only trust the professionals. If you're looking for the professionals, they're usually on Cryptic Humility, and these are real resources and real people that can help you. But so I think that that answered the question very well, that people now know before you get invested in crypto, learn how to secure your funds, know the terminology that you need to understand and the things that you need to store to to secure yourself when you then decide to make investments and trades on the exchange. If you do forget your password, that's okay. We have people in the industry that can help you. And like I said, it's my job to find those people to help you. But also, you know, if you're experiencing fraud, it's a whole nother level. And Wojciech, which I've tried my best this entire podcast to pronounce your name right. We've gone back and forth over this, but he is here to help you. He's been a great resource and has been, you know, fortunate enough to provide us all the education that we need to be successful in the crypto industry. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on to the podcast and sharing your information. Like I said, I will have all of his information down below for people that if you're in this situation and you need help, we'll provide you guidance and help to get you the answers that you need. And yeah, I mean, Cryptic Humility's whole purpose is to eliminate the scams and the fraud that happen in the industry by bringing people on that can help us one step at a time. So thank you. I will see you guys next Monday. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share before we go?
No, thank you, Vanessa. Thank you very much for having me. I want to help all you guys to stay secure, stay safe, be safe, and watch for your cryptos and don't get scammed. Don't forget your
Yes.
password. But if you
Yes,
do, you know where to find me. I
exactly.
will help.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. We will see you guys next Monday. I hope you have a great week, and thanks for listening to Cryptic Humility.